Hello guys, I am back and today I'm going to be reviewing a game of Ekko the Neeko. He's been playing jungle lately and I think it's because he found a new rune setup that he probably enjoys a lot, and it's actually one that I have also... I personally thought it might be too greedy, but apparently it seems to work for him. He's won a lot of games with it and it's this one. He's playing Transcendence, one of my favorite runes, and also Relentless Hunter. I personally still think that Treasure Hunter is probably a bit better, but he seems to like it, so yeah, I'm just very curious to see how he plays with it. Also Dark Harvest, so yeah, he told me personally that he just stopped playing jungle because it was too boring for him. Like mid lane was a new challenge, but maybe this kind of rune setup really just reignited his like love for the jungle. So I'm very happy to see that, just so we can learn from him. Of course, I'm also gonna be more focused on jungling. I know I said that I would personally try to learn mid, but I think I will stick to jungle for now. It's not the same for me as it is for him, right? He has reached challenger with jungle, and so he just wanted a new challenge. I haven't, so yeah, let's just go right into the gameplay and see how it works for him. So as we can see, like, enemies, they don't have the biggest meta comp. Let's say that they have a Viego mid, Talia jungle. I would say Talia jungle, decently easy matchup for Ekko. Just respect the E, play around it, and then she's just a mage that you can easily beat down. I think he also went blue smite every single time. I have not looked in like every single game in his match history, but I think in most games he did go for the blue smite. So yeah, I'm always saying this, guys. If you have one smite that you prefer, like, just play with it. You know, it's really not that big of a deal. All of them are viable. I've been playing a lot of green smite. I think I might switch more towards the more aggressive smites again, but yeah, I'll have to really find myself and look how things are performing for me. Definitely Dark Harvest, though. I think it is a rune that I have underestimated for a long time. After playing with it for a bit, it really doesn't feel as bad as you might expect, even when you don't get stacks early. And then here, of course, like, he's running this like very greedy... Can I show it? Oh. This seems like a very greedy rune setup. Like, there's really no gold generation in this setup at all. There's no futures market, there's no treasure hunter even, which I think might be a mistake, but we'll see. We'll really see how strong he looks. Viego also being a little bit annoying. Yeah, he probably is going for the Raptors path. I've learned it from him, actually. Like, he's definitely the one that I saw doing. Like, he's the one that I saw doing the Raptors path first. And also, another thing, actually, with the Electrocute. He's been playing Electrocute in the jungle, is one of the first ones that I saw doing it. Okay, that's like completely already... Every time I watch him, like, I'm so confused as to what I'm seeing with his pathing. Where is he going? Okay, he's going straight to his blue. I remember the last time I watched a gameplay of his, he went for the Raptors, Crocs into red path, which was completely new. And like, nowadays, that's the, I guess, normal path I would take. He seems to have a very, like, strict game plan here as to what he wants to do. Very interesting. Is his plan to go top here, and that's why he went down, so he can just go up again? I'll have to, like, I will watch more of his gameplay to see if like how he adapts and why. I'm really curious. I think I will also get a coaching session from him very soon. I've been meaning to get one from, like, for some time, but I think I've really underestimated how important just like your own education, I guess, is. And of course, I want to reach challenger. I've been stuck a little bit, so I'm for sure gonna take advantage of his kind of coaching. So yeah, it seems to me that his plan is really to go top here, right? Like, he cleared this one camp just to go down here so he can go up and then gank the lane that has very good CC setup. Very interesting that he starts at the Raptors for that, though. It's just super good to know that this is even something you can do, you know? Like, it's not something that would have ever crossed my mind to go from the Raptors to blue. He's probably gonna leave the Crux up here, I would assume. And then maybe look... No? Okay. He's not. He wants the level 4. I guess the gank opportunity on top was not looking that juicy. However, the lane state is good. Of course, he might have info on the ward being there, because people in this elo, they do ping the wards and whatever. Yeah, very, very interesting for sure. The pathing doesn't have E, so he can't really help here, and I don't think he would want to anyways. So yeah, now he gets spotted. Pantheon is not overextended enough that it will work. So... Let's see how this is played out. Probably just has to respect. Okay, interesting. I think, yeah, Pantheon just inted. And that can help with the follow-up. And now you can see, of course, like, don't be an idiot here and try to do something with your E or whatever. Just like, respect it, you know? Oh, very nice. He even gets a kill. Just do as much as you can here, but in low elo people might ping you for, like, not auto-attacking here or some stupid stuff like that, but just do everything you can, and everything you can do here is just throwing the Qs, you know? So, throw the Q, slow them a little bit, apply the passive stacks as well. And then he's actually baiting the Renekton here, or like the Viego. Very nice. Still has the flash, so he can just flash away. And then it's flashing the Mastery mode as well. Now, like with 1.4k, that's a really, really nice base, of course. And in this kind of game, you probably won't miss the Treasure Hunter. It's just, okay, that's another, like... Wow, interesting. He's going for boots first as well. Wow, man. So many curveballs already again. Like, this guy, I don't know, I feel like he's definitely experimenting with a lot of his builds and whatever. He's also playing Comet Ekko in mid, he's been playing that and this kind of stuff, so I'm not sure if he's super convinced by all of the stuff he's doing, but definitely interesting. And of course, we'll see how it works out. In this game, of course, we saw that he had good stats, so it must have worked out to some extent, but maybe he missed some kills in the early game or whatever, or maybe he gained some kills because he had the extra movement speed. This is the kind of stuff we'll see. Also making sure that he clears the vision here. Definitely good. He saw the Viego place it beforehand. I mean, I've been saying that Viego mid is... I don't think it's a troll pick at all, honestly. I think it's fine. Especially against a champ like Katarina, I think he probably matches up pretty well. But he's like doing the best in his team, at least kills-wise. Of course, the CS you can see is very low, so that kind of balances it out. I mean, he's actually still pretty ahead, but... Yeah, Ekko the Neeko is the... Well, he's basically equal with Talia, and they're both the strongest ones in their team. Both 1 kill, 1 assist. Seems like the Talia is looking to invade the Raptors. Does he read it? Like, did they have vision? Wait, let me rewind 1 second. Ah, yeah, I guess they had vision. So he knows... He just gives it up, you know? He sees that the Viego has full pressure here. He knows that they can't really contest. I would probably ego here and go there, like, if I'm being real. Especially because it's Talia, and I might think that I can beat her, but apparently he thinks he can't, so... He's just, like, giving up camps. I think that's one thing a lot of high elo junglers do. They give up camps, and they're not afraid to do so. Okay. Talia's there, but she can't really do anything. If she doesn't hit the W, if she has no hard CC, let's just rewind again really quickly. He even missed his outgoing Q, but the Katarina dealt a lot of the damage. And then he just procced the passive stack on the last auto attack. Viego spam pinging the Talia. Now, yeah, he was looking to check if this camp is up, of course, because the Talia invaded, but she cleared it right before invading, apparently. Now, how much gold does he have? Enough for a blasting one, so I'm assuming that's what he's gonna get here. I really, like, I will review way more of his games. I need to see, like, because so far, every time I have reviewed his games, there's no like, real consistency to his decisions, it feels like. It really feels like he has the ability to make decisions on the fly, or, like, have a really good understanding of how the game will play out, and then base his decisions and his pathing and whatever off of that. I think he's definitely the most flexible Ekko player that I know. It's, like, a very, very... big positive of his gameplay. Of course, he is also, like, at least in the top 3, I think, of the most mastery, so if you have 8 million mastery points on Ekko, you for sure get a lot of experience, and with the way he's playing, he's of course also experimenting a lot, as I've said, so due to that, I guess, he really has just built up a lot of knowledge. I don't know what the Viego is trying to achieve here, honestly. I feel like he's just inting, you know. Like, he's not a jungler, maybe he forgot that, maybe he got filled mid and he forgot that he doesn't have smite, like, really not sure. Well, that Talia actually dealt very low damage there, I feel like. Oof. And he died there, damn. Well, that's so crazy though. The Talia hit her stuff, but, like, it barely got him below half HP. I guess in the early game with first strike, she really just doesn't have that much damage. And then, did the Drake shove him in a way where he couldn't ult? Like, I know the Alistair CC'd him as well, but I think the Drake also shoved him, so it was kind of awkward. Is that the case? Ah, no. No, it's not. No, it was just the Alistair CC that he didn't respect. So, like, even a challenger Ekko player like him, he just doesn't always play around every ability perfectly, and that's why people die in games, right? They don't play around everything perfectly, and it's completely normal. But yeah, definitely something I guess you could have played around the Alistair stun. He probably didn't think about the Ezreal damage from behind the wall. How many stacks does he have? 4 stacks at like 8 minutes. That's, I would say that's pretty. I don't have enough experience to really say average, but I think it's a very realistic number. I guess in a game that's not going super amazingly well or whatever. I don't know. Okay, I guess he's posturing here. Getting the Ezreal. I just wonder, like, I'm curious if maybe because when you go for the boots, if you have Dark Harvest, maybe then it makes more sense to go for the boots first. Instead of when you maybe play with Electrocute, because with Electrocute, or with First Strike even, like, the higher AP makes more sense. Electrocute has a better scaling, and with First Strike, of course, you just want, like, more damage. Very curious, honestly. I'll really have to look, as I said, if he does that more often, or if it's just, like, an experimental thing. Especially because he has the Relentless Hunter, right? So he already has a bunch of moves. He has that, he has the Blue Smite, so like he seems to value movement speed a lot in this build. Like a lot. Okay. Did he see something in mid or why is he? I guess he saw the Viego being on 1 HP. Of course, with ult and whatever, this is a complete free kill if you can get there. Yeah, and then the Viego even face checks him here. Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of opportunities you need to punch, and this is like, it's just good foresight, you know? Of course, the safe play would be to just keep jungling here, clear these camps, and then see if there's an opportunity, but if you have good awareness here, and you see this happening, you see a Viego on 1 HP, you see that he's getting, like, that he's cancelling his recall, then, like, for sure go there, especially, I guess that's why the movement speed is so good, you know? Because it allows you to move faster to these kind of plays and punish them. Of course, in this specific situation, the Viego even cancelled his recoil for some reason. Like, face checked him here, so the movement speed didn't matter that much. But in some situations where you would have just kept recalling, I think the movement speed might have made the difference in him being able to actually get there. The Talia just used her E, so you can just E in there freely. But yeah, the Pantheon flashes over the wall to stun him. Again, I think that was pretty int by him. Very good. Of course, here he really needs to respect the Talia. He can't just E in there. Super good that he flashes the W. Honestly, that's something I've just realized I've never done that. Like, flashing the W here, of course, is so important, and like, it has to be such an ego thing. Now that I think of it, it's very dumb. Definitely, like, Talia W is a spell you should be flashing in these situations where the E is already below you. You definitely can't dodge it with E, so like, just do that, like, flash it, and then the Talia has nothing, right? And especially in this situation, she had a massive shutdown, so super value, like, high value flash here. And now I think, like, in my opinion, you should just be looking to recall. He has 1 HP here, he has no ult, he can buy the rocket belt. So, like, he's just playing passive, right? He doesn't have to recall, of course. Like, you can still get stuff done with Ekko, especially with your W. But you can see he's really not doing anything stupid. He's just waiting for his cooldowns, throwing a Q, I guess looking to get the last hit. But he's not going in there with 1 HP and then dying for no reason. And that's like the big patience. Like, Ekko, I've been saying this often, and like I've not even lived by that myself enough, I would say, recently. Like, Ekko's a big skill for like, being good at Ekko is definitely patience. Patience with your cooldowns, like really playing around them. And especially the Lichbane setup definitely rewards that kind of playstyle even more, I would say. Is he gonna clear the jungle or is he gonna recall? Seems like he's clearing it. Very interesting. I mean, maybe he's still missing. Is it 2,350 with this these items? I'm not sure. It might be. Maybe he still needs some gold for the rocket ball anyways. I'm sure he's gonna clear the crux as well here. You don't need to. Yeah, and then he's yeah, I mean, the Pantheon massively overextending. He probably doesn't... Like, this is a very odd timing, of course, right? We know that he's been on the map for a long time, so the Pantheon probably expects that he's base, but... I mean, also, the Pantheon's just not playing super well this game, let's be honest. He's just made some very questionable choices, and this is another one where he's just overextending. Does he live, though? He might live. Oh yeah, he's just ulting out. I mean, honestly, I did the renacting, I didn't have a W. Honestly, like, getting the Pantheon ult out like this is definitely valuable as well. Look, it's like a 3-minute cooldown, one of the longest in the game. So, it's almost like a flash. Wait, yeah, flash is 5 minutes, it's 3 minutes. It's definitely a very valuable cooldown, so getting that out for like this little of a commitment is definitely super good. And then I guess the reason he's starting at Wolves here is probably because he's looking to the Drake. It's my prediction here. So this is always what I'm saying as well. As a jungler, you need to make a plan. Like when you're going out of base, especially then, but of course you always need to make a plan, but especially when you're coming out of base, you literally have nothing better to do. Like the only thing you need to do is think, what are going to be my next moves? And like as a jungler, you are kind of the orchestrator of the game. You usually set the tempo. Of course, like if someone is massively underperforming, then they can also set the tempo. But generally, the jungler is the controlling role of the game. Like you should be the shot caller. You should be making the plays. You should be thinking about like, where do I want to path? Where do I want to end up? And like in this situation, I guess he's looking to even invade at this point because he's strong enough. But I think he was looking like if this lane is pushed, he's probably going to look to the Drake. You know, let's see what he did here. I think another reason why he didn't go for the Drake right away is because he was already pulled. So like maybe he assumed that. Well, who even pulled it? What? The Ezreal pulled it or something? The Katarina pulled it. I don't know why she did that. Kind of weird. But yeah, I guess he probably wants the lanes to be shoved first, or like especially because of course he sees the opportunity here, right? This guy's such a free kill. He's 2 levels down. He has a collector, so he's super squishy. I don't even know. Like, this guy's kind of trolling, honestly. And so is the Pantheon, of course, but at least his pick is more normal. So like the best time to do objectives is just when the lanes are pushed. Your laners can move to help you, and the enemies have to basically collect the wave. So they really don't have time to move to the objective. And then here, I mean, nothing special. Literally just free kill. Didn't even have to proc passive. Now, yes, the Herald, he's probably gonna deal as much damage as possible, because the Herald, it deals true damage, you know? It will always deal like 2,000 something true damage. Not 2,000, I think... Let's see, actually, I'm not sure. I always thought it deals exactly 2,000, but I think it might be a little bit lower than that. It doesn't even say. It seems like it doesn't even show the damage number. Wait. It has to be a little bit less. So it's like 1,600 something. So just do it as late as possible, especially because, let's see, like I'm trying to be really educational here, of course. See, this bulwark debuff. So depending on how many people are pushing the tower, the bigger this gets as well. They added that somewhat recently. But like if you take a plating, just know that the next plating will be more tanky, basically, right? It will just get more armor and whatever. Like, let's see. Before they took the first plating, it was at 55 armor, 55 MR, and then after they took it, it was like at 185. So it gains like massive, 170 basic. No, not 170, but it gains like a massive amount. Only for some time, of course. You can see now like it got lower, but yeah, you can see like it stacks up very, very high. So the true damage from the Herald is definitely super valuable in these situations. Does he die here? No, he doesn't. Still has ult. Kinda got caught, but in this situation, the enemies they can't really do too much to him. And now his team is still in a position, especially because Renekton is here. They can still just do the Drake. If you do the first Drake at like 13 minutes, they automatically lose some amount of priority. By the way, just understand that in games where the first Drake is taken at 13 minutes, it's probably not gonna go to Soul. So just like if you have to give a Drake in the future, then just give it. Like be more ready to give it in these kind of situations. And you can see, like this is how you need to play Ekko. This is just very generally how you need to play Ekko. Just be on the sidelines. You have your E. You can go over walls. Like there's absolutely no reason to like walk here. Zero. Of course, okay, there is some reason, I guess, if they would escape to the top here, but like in these situations where they're just running to the left, there's no reason to even show yourself. You're not looking to. You're not a much of an auto attacker champion. Like, sure, you have the Nashers maybe, but even then, you're just going in with your cooldowns. So like, there's no reason to ever walk in this path when you could just be doing exactly what he's doing in the second here, and that's just like going over the wall with the cooldowns that you're gonna wait for anyways. So that's another, again, like, patience. It's just patience here. Patience and, of course, awareness. Yeah, Nash not even up yet. They're already, like, hardcore dominating them, though, right? They're like 6k gold ahead here. 7k even, almost. At 15 minutes. So in this elo, that means the game is over, you know? It's like a Grandmaster game. It means the game is over in, let's say, like, genuinely 99% of the time, probably. People, of course, they throw every now and then. It does happen, but I would say the higher the elo, the less it happens for sure. And like, people know how to close out games and this kind of stuff. And now you can see, like, at this point, you really also need to understand, like, if you have a 500 gold shutdown, and especially against champs like these that are like not hard countering or anything, you basically can lose all the respect for the enemies. Not all of them, you still need to play around their abilities and whatever, but like, you really don't need to be scared. Like, you can see he's just going into the enemy jungle here, looking to make stuff happen, and that's how you have impact, you know? That's like a big thing. A lot of the coaching sessions I've had is where people, they managed to get the first part of like starting the snowball, they got that done, but then they just really did not have the game-winning impact. And like, the biggest way to have the game-winning impact is just by like going for these really aggressive plays and not showing too much respect, because you really don't need to. You're Ekko, you know. You can look what he's doing. You can just run at people, play with your cooldowns, and that's it. Especially if you have ult up, you really just need to not show too much respect. Of course, as I said, like, don't get hit by the, like, don't randomly E into Talia, and get stunned and then like chain CC. Sure, that will still kill you. You're still a squishy champ, but like, just don't show too much respect. Make sure to make a plan of how to actively close out the game, and the best way to do that is just by he's waiting for the matches here. And the best way to do that is just by like taking up enemy territory, right? Like what he was doing here, just walking into the jungle. Sure, he didn't get any of the camps. I'm sure if there were camps up, he would have also loved to just clear them. But like, the big thing is just taking away space from the enemies. Oh, he's not even going for matches. He's going for Nilsi Large Shot. I guess because he used flash as well here. So like, I personally probably would have went for matches, but that is definitely one of the easiest ways to lose games. So maybe another thing that I will just actually stop doing is just like egoing the Madras just for fun, because this is for sure the more consistent play, and like, even if he dies now, the game is not nearly as likely to snowball in the enemy's favor, because he's much closer to the Rabadons, of course. And like, if he completes the Rabadons, then it really, he doesn't care about his Dark Seal stacks anymore. I mean, look, at this point, probably most of the Platinum players watching this could be put in here and like not do too terribly. Like Ekko, I'm always saying Ekko is a very unfair champ when he has stats like this one, like 10, 1, 11. Like, Ekko is just, he has so many tools in his kit to not die, and then his damage is, of course, also, it's so simple to deal the damage, and it's like so much, right? the passive procs, they deal so much damage. And unless you're like getting hard countered, you really have such an easy time. And as I've said, in this game, there's not too much CC that he needs to worry about, and the enemies are also decently squishy, especially because the champs like Pantheon, whatever, they're not doing very well. Yeah. Let's see how much gold does he have. I'm curious if he's gonna go for a recall. Yeah. See, like, this is a good time to recall. Sure, like, if you're in this position and your team is looking to do stuff, stay on the map, you know, stay on the map. You're like, the team's 13k gold ahead. For sure, you don't need to spend your gold. You don't have to 100% spend it. You're like, the more behind you are, the more pressured you are to spend your gold, because, or like, the more even you are, let's say. Of course, if you're behind also, but like, the more even you are, the more pressured you are to spend your gold, and the more ahead you are, the longer you can stay on the map and like extend your leads, basically. But in this situation, like, everyone in his team is basically base. He even has the empowered recall, so there's no reason not to go base now, especially because Drake is also coming up in the next minute. I don't know exactly when, but and he has gold to spend here. Let's see, next Nilsi Large Rod. It might make the difference, you know. The 60 AP is definitely something. Like, it's a big amount of AP. It can easily make the difference, and like, It's one of those things that I also just realized I probably need to improve on a bit more. Be more like aware of. Here I really saw like everyone was base. There was no reason to keep pushing anywhere. There was not even anything to farm, so yeah, like just abuse that. Not abuse it, just like play with that. Play with these basic reset timings. He seemed kind of inting here actually. They might have to. Yeah, I guess we can see him the time already. He's not doing Drake right away because of that. Although they do get the enemy jungle here. Let's see. Very big W. Well, he sadly didn't get the Viego because he was transforming, but well, I'm so curious that they didn't end now. Actually, like, I mean, yeah, honestly, only Ezreal here. Very interesting. What happened? Yeah, they're gonna be inhib. I mean, death timers are, yeah, never mind. Like, death timers are just really short because it's still pre-20 minutes. So this is just like pure domination, of course, this game. Probably not the best one to learn from. It's just like a lot of things went wrong for the enemies. But definitely very interesting to see the rune setup in like work, I guess, or like how it looks when it's working. Also, excuse me for like fumbling my words all the time, whatever. I've just taken like a week off. I need to really get back into commentating this kind of stuff. So, I mean, he died, so now it's gonna just like extend the game by 5 minutes, but as I said, like in this, there's still 15k gold ahead, so it's really not like they're gonna lose the game off of that. And that's also why he made the safe choice of not buying Magi's, right? Now he still feels Omega strong. He has Rabadons completed at like 21 minutes. Like, you don't lose games if you have Rabadons completed at 21 minutes, and of course not if you're actually a really good Ekko player as well. Okay. Okay, like, I don't know if that was like some ego play, but definitely not worth flashing here. Like, objectively not worth flashing for that, especially teams like doing Nash, which he could be helping with. I really don't know if he has some like personal problems with this guy or something. What I want to highlight here though is, however, the way he used his rocket belt. You know, if the Alistar hadn't knocked him up, he would have used the rocket belt reset here really well to just do the passive proc. Let's see. I'm gonna slow it down as well. Oops. See, he doesn't need his Q here. He's just Eing, and then he's using the rocket belt to hit the return Q, and then he's also using the auto attack reset, which would have worked if the Alistar hadn't knocked him up. He would have also used that, and it would have been a very quick combo. So that's something nice you can do. If you're really ahead, you can just throw out your Q and just kill people with a return Q in like a somewhat unexpected way like that. Right? If he doesn't, he had vision here, but if he didn't have vision here, he wouldn't know the Q is coming, you know? You're just throwing out the Q to the back, Eing over, and then going behind. And like, even if you're not super ahead, this might be good to do in some situations. If you're just like, if you have the Rabadons completed. In most situations, of course, you want to hit the outgoing Q. It's like, see, it's like 300 damage, the return Q is 500, so it's like 300 damage that you would be missing, and the slow as well, of course. But it's definitely a nice mechanic, I guess. You can think of it, like, in a lot of situations, you might not do it on purpose, but you can just adapt, you know? Where, like, you might miss your Q, and then you just adapt with your rocket belt or with your E in a way that the return Q, of course, hits and applies the stack, and then, yeah. I'm always saying, the important thing with Ekko is not how exactly you do the combos. Important thing is to proc the passive, you know, and like how you do it. Just the best way to do is, of course, just by using your E auto attack resets if you don't need to use your E to get in range, and using your rocket belt auto attack reset. That's like the most underutilized part, I would say, of a lot of low elo players. Oh, he was trying. Yeah, I guess he was trying to hit the ult here as well. So I think this ult was probably the thing that got him killed here. I don't think he had to ult. Let's see though. Definitely nice. You can see, right? He's just like, this Alistar is not respecting. He just apparently doesn't know. Yeah, he was full HP here, right? He really just wanted to ult so he can kill the Talia right away. But I think that was a mistake. It was for sure a mistake. It got him killed here. And he could have just done another auto attack. So, like, yeah, he could have just done, like, if he's passive proc, and then he just, like, especially with the Nashus, 1 or even 2 more auto attacks, it would have, like, I think 1 more would have been enough because of the W passive. And then he probably could have cleaned the rest up, maybe even penta killed them. Yeah, everyone makes mistakes, even Ekko the Neeko, he makes mistakes, so it happens. Also buying the Zhonya's here, interestingly, I saw that as well. Like, I was a bit curious. I think this is not really a Zhonya scam. It really isn't. Especially because the Talia is like the only one that's doing well on the enemy team and she's AP. So I feel like if anything, if you want a defensive item here, go for the Banshees in my opinion. Maybe not though, like a big, or like definitely a reason for not to buy Banshees in a game like this is because it's very easy for them to proc it. With Talia, with Ezreal, they have like very long range poke spells. So like I personally probably would just go for Lichbane here. Lichbane, or if I see like they're not really building them more, they just don't have the money to build them more, right? So yeah, I think Lichbane would probably be honestly the best choice in my opinion. Like the most fun choice anyways, but I think even the best probably. Just because enemies are not gonna be able to build any MR here, and like the Lichbane movement speed and whatever, it will just make him even more oppressive in my opinion. But maybe he just doesn't like going for it here at the last end because he already has so much movement speed in his setup. I will also, like, I will stream later on, and I think I will play this kind of setup, but I think I will probably switch out the Relentless Hunter for Treasure Hunter. I think the Treasure Hunter will just make snowballing more consistent. Like, having that extra gold, especially if you can get it early, it's just... I don't know, I really feel like playing Ekko without any kind of gold generation runes is... It's just too inconsistent, in my experience at least. But maybe I also just am too emotional about the results I've had. Like, maybe I've just not played enough games to actually have a good feeling about it, and like the couple of games that I did play, I just had bad results randomly, you know? It could be the case for sure. One thing I want to highlight here really quick as well is how he dodged the Talia W with his ult. Like, this is such a big thing, you know? Like, of course, in this situation, he probably would have died right away anyways, but like, really, the ult is such a versatile spell, you know? It deals damage, it heals, it's like, it makes you just like, it puts you into stasis, right? It says here, so you're untargetable, basically. It's like, in this situation, super important, of course, that you just use it to dodge the Talia W. Like, that's a big skill expression, of course, just being able to use the ult in any way that is, like, important in the current situation you're in. Yeah, again, he's just kind of having fun with the Elderstram for now the end. So yeah, definitely very interesting. Again, like, the start's so interesting what he did here. I don't know why exactly he did that. Like, I'm gonna ask him about this kind of stuff when I'm getting the coaching session with him for sure. Like, I really need to know why he's doing that. I remember the last time I did a review, he did, like, the Raptors path, and then he invaded right away against an Eve level 2. And I remember, like, someone told me that he did it because he thought he wouldn't win a full clear against Eve, so he just wanted to shut her down early. Definitely interesting, right? This is the kind of stuff I really don't think about yet, I have to say, as a player, so that's why I definitely will look to get a coaching session with him. And yeah, I hope you guys could learn something from this. As I said, I don't think it was like the best game to learn from, because it's just like, in games like this, they're too easy, there's not too much to learn from, but surely there's something, especially with the pathing. I think the biggest takeaway you should just be that, like, first of all, this rune setup that he's running, it seems viable. It does seem like, of course, it's just one game, but if you look at his match history, he actually won most of his game that he's been running this setup. And then, of course, also just the flexibility with the pathing, right? This really didn't hold him back in any major way. So yeah, it's definitely something that I personally might have overrated in the past, just having super efficient pathing and whatever. But people have different playstyles, different things work. Agron, for example, he values having this. He's one of the best junglers in the world, I would say, even. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment as well if you feel very nice today, and then yeah, watch the next one. Bye.